This is Akin, aka Jack is the Truth. I'm delighted to be joined by Georgios' manager extraordinaire, Sam Jones. How you doing, sir?
Don't know about extraordinaire, but how you doing, mate? Yeah, good, thanks.
It's good to see you, Joe. Sam, Joe. um, we're at a press conference announcing the fight between Daniel Dubois versus Nathan Gorman. Georgios made a surprise appearance. I say surprise because he has a fight scheduled against Ustinov.
He was always going to be had a press conference. It was always scheduled that he would have a press conference, whether we got the opponent or not. Again, there's five or six names that are in the mix to fight Joe, but it's about being realistic. I mean, they have offered the fight to Derek Chisora, and he's asked for outrageous money to fight him, way more than he's getting for a Parker fight. So it's all about what's realistic and what's not. So we'll see what happens.
How difficult is it to plan ahead? I know he's focused on Ustinov, and it's important not to overlook fighters. But here,
you can't plan too far ahead. You've got to, there's a task. I think Joe's going to beat Ustinov and beat him well, but you can't overlook your opponent that much to say dismiss him. He's coming to win. Do you know what I mean? He's a big lump. He's going to come to win.
we also Daniel Dubois' last fight, and I have to say the world was captivated when we saw Georgios come to the ringside and he approached him like, "What's he saying about me?" We all thought the next fight that Dubois would be having would be against Georgios. How disappointed is he not to be taking this fight? Or could you explain why he isn't going for Daniel Dubois next, and why he's going a different route?
Okay, well, it's obvious, really, in my opinion. It's obvious why. Joe's mandatory for the European title. He's mandatory for the WBA regular. He's one or two fights away from being mandatory for Anthony Joshua's WBA super belt. Why would you come back down and fight at British level? Although it's a great fight, definitely a great fight, but it's a great fight down the line, in my opinion. Joe's not scared of Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois not scared of Joe. Both sides have made that very clear, but it makes more sense to fight down the line. I mean, who's saying Joe won't fight the winner of this fight?
Well, in terms of preparation, though, for you, you have to get his mindset right for who he's supposed to fight next. So when you're unclear about whether he's fighting Manuel Char next or Daniel or the winner of this fight, etc., how do you keep him focused? How difficult is your job when you don't know what's next on the horizon?
It's not difficult in this instance of getting Joe motivated. He's got a fight next week against Alexander Ustinov, and by then we should have an opponent ready for Joe. Joe's already in camp, he's fit. He's going to go from the Ustinov fight straight back in on Monday morning, working on ready for his next fight on July the 13th. But as I say, we don't want to look too far ahead, but he is scheduled to fight on May the 18th and July 13th, and we're ready for both of them.
At the beginning of the press conference that we just heard, Frank mentioned a couple of names, but we quickly dismissed those names, like Derek Chisora asking for too much, Manuel Char, he said it won't be Manuel Char. We're hoping for Abial, Ajid Kabial. Why is that still a possibility?
We hope so, but they're asking for outrageous money. I think Ajit Kabayel is allowed a voluntary before July, which doesn't look so realistic. So what we've done is write to the EBU and said we're ready to fight now. Let's take it to purse bids. But my not fear, but I think Ajit Kabayel don't want to fight Joe because he's pricing himself out. He's got a massive payday he's been offered. He's turned the fight down, so it smells to me like he's going to vacate and go a different direction, which is, you can't force somebody to fight. Same with Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora's had a great career. I'm a fan of Derek Chisora, but he doesn't want to fight Joe, in my opinion. He don't want to fight Joe, so we'll see what happens.
So where do you go from there? If nobody wants it, what does he do on the 13th?
Opponent, we get the best possible opponent available. That's world ranked top 15. There's a few. Hopefully we could, if the Trevor Bryan fight doesn't matter, we can fight Trevor Bryan. There's Bryant Jennings that's lingering about. That's a good fight. Lost 3 times. It was someone in the top 15. It will be someone in the top 15.
Well, Sam Jones will definitely be here to see it. I really appreciate you talking to the Boxing Voice. Anything else that you'd like to add?
And then just keep following Joe, following his journey. He's got a big fight next week, and then hopefully a massive fight in the summer on July the 13th.
Sam Jones, thank you for talking to the Boxing Voice.
Nice one, mate.
If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.